Hello everybody, I hope everyone is doing well and welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a full face of E.L.F. cosmetics. I had no idea, but E.L.F. actually stands for eyes, lips, and face. I know that's probably a really well-known fact out in the beauty space, but if you are in the same boat as me and you didn't know that, well, now you have another fun fact under your belt. So I have a good mix in front of me. I have some products I've already tried out and some that are new to me. So I'm going to sprinkle in some first impressions into today's video. Before we get started, a portion of today's video is sponsored by E.L.F. I'm going to be showing off and demoing the new Jen Atkin collection. This collection is beautiful. I love the packaging. It's so her. She created this collection for the beauty lovers that need on-the-go, modern, minimalistic, multifunctional beauty products that help simplify your routine and get you ready quickly. So I'll go over more information about the products once I get to that step in my makeup routine. But all of the products I'm going to be using today are 100% cruelty-free and vegan, and they're formulated without any bad ingredients for you. And of course, all of these products come at a really great price point, so you can be extra without paying extra. I'm really excited for today's video because when I was a working makeup artist, I had so many of their products in my kit, especially when I was living in Vancouver. But ever since I moved back to Alberta, all of the drugstores around me don't carry E.L.F. sadly. So I'm really excited to be reacquainted with the brand. So I've been really looking forward to this video. So before we get into it, I would love for you to subscribe if you aren't already. It means so much to me, and let's get to it. The first product I'm going to be using is the Hydrating Primer Serum. I've been enjoying this product here, especially since I accidentally burnt my forehead here with my curling iron. I feel like it just helps to smooth over any dry patches, and it feels just like a hyaluronic acid serum. So I'm just gonna spread that all over, and I like how it doesn't leave my skin feeling slippery nor sticky. It just feels nice and hydrated. A thought just popped into my mind. I wonder how this would work out mixed into a fuller coverage foundation. I wonder if it'd thin it out nicely and make it a sheerer vibe. I'll have to try that out. I'll let you guys know. So now for my foundation, I'm going to be using the Flawless Satin Foundation. I used this once and I really enjoyed how it looked on my skin. I'm going to be using the shade 240 Vanilla. This one has neutral yellow undertones. I like how it wasn't too correcting. It just made my skin look perfected while still letting my skin shine through. I'm going to apply it with my Moda brush. This is the complexion brush, and I'm just going to spread the product equally around my face, and then I'm going to start buffing it into my skin. So now that I spread that out with the brush, I'm taking this sponge, and this one is from E.L.F. as well. This is the one that I've been really enjoying recently. I think I enjoy it more than the Beauty Blender. It's very similar in texture and feel. I just enjoy this shape a lot more because I like to apply highlighters with my Beauty Blender with the pointed tip. So it's nice to have two of them. So one could be for my concealer and the other side can be for my highlighter. I'll give you guys a nice close-up of my skin once I pat it all down with my sponge. I always do this with my foundations because I find that it gives it more of a natural look and it picks up any excess that I don't need, and it removes brush strokes. So see how my skin just looks like skin, but it overall looks more blurred and perfected, but my skin is still shining through. I really enjoy this foundation. So here's an up-close shot of my skin. As always, no skin blurring filters or anything like that. And as you can see right here on my curling iron burn, it's not accentuating any of the dry skin around there. It's just kind of leaving it alone. I love that so much. It just looks like skin. I love it. That was one initial application. I'm going to build it up in the areas where I want more coverage with my sponge. So now I'm really happy with this result here. And one last thing about this foundation, I love the finish of it. It's a true satin, so it's not too glowy nor too matte. It's somewhere in the middle there, so it just looks like healthy skin. So now let's move on to concealer. I have two finishes in front of me. I have the Hydrating Camo Concealer in satin finish and the 16-Hour Camo Concealer in a matte finish. I'm going to be using the satin finish one today since I think that will be a better match with this foundation. I haven't tried this concealer out yet, so I'm excited to see how this goes. I know one of their concealers was really highly raved about, but I don't remember which one it was. Hopefully this one. I'm not the biggest fan of huge doe foot applicators for concealers, just because I find that I tend to over apply product with such a big applicator, but we'll see how this goes. And I'm going to use this sponge once again to blend it. And by the way, I forgot to mention the shade I was using. I'm using the shade Light Sand. This has more coverage than I was expecting. So since it has more coverage, I'm just going to extend the area that I'm going to be blending this out so it doesn't look so corrected under here and the rest is more natural. That actually looks really nice. I'm happy I went with this formula here. It totally blends into the foundation nicely. I think that looks quite good. I'll zoom you up once again, so you can see what it's looking like. If this concealer continues to look like this throughout the day, then I'm going to be so happy. I've been in a concealer rut recently. I feel like I've been reaching for the same 3-ish concealers. So if things go over well, I see myself using this one a lot, which I'm excited for. I need a new one in my rotation. So I don't have any of their setting powders, so I'm going to add a touch of the Pat McGrath under eye powder. Plus I use this powder pretty much every day, so we'll see how these two products react together. Ooh, that looks nice. It's looking good so far. So now for my bronzer, I'm going to dip into this palette here. This eye and face palette is called the Let's E.L.Fing Do It palette. I love a good play on words. So this palette here contains some eyeshadows, a sheer matte blush, a sun-kissed bronzer, and a highlighter as well. This isn't the only palette they offer. They do have another one for deeper skin tones as well. So for right now, I'm going to be using this bronzer here, and I switched up my technique for bronzer. I've been using a angled brush. This specific one is the Moda Pro BMX 120 angled blush, and I pick up a majority of the product on the shorter side of the brush. I tap it off, and I've been kind of stippling it on, and I apply it right on my actual cheekbone, not in the contour or the hollow of my cheek. I find that when I apply product in the actual hollow of my cheek, it just brings down my face and I just look sad. So I love to give a lifted effect, and I apply most of the product on the short side of the brush just so that I'm not applying some pigment on my actual cheekbone. And I stipple it just so that it kind of frays the brush slightly, so it gives more of a dispersed effect. It actually looks like a natural bronze. And then once I'm happy with how things are looking, I like to do circular motions, kind of flicking my brush up so I don't end up going into the hollow of my cheeks. And this just gives a rounded effect, not so straight, just so that I don't have a straight obvious line, because there are no straight lines in nature. So whenever you have like a super straight line on your cheek, it looks very obvious to the eye. So this will just ensure that you have more of a natural application. And for my forehead, I'm going to demo on this side since I don't want to disrupt my burn. I start off at the upmost part of my forehead, and I kind of flick my brush towards my brows. And this will ensure that I don't have a harsh line like right over here. It'll just be nice and diffused and kind of airbrushed. And then once most of the pigment is on my forehead, I take the edge of my brush and I flick it back towards my forehead so I don't have any line at all. It just is super soft and not obvious at all. When I say that I apply a little bit of pressure to my brush to kind of fray it, I'm not like adding so much pressure, just a light amount. And this is optional. I know not a lot of people like to bring their bronzers on their noses, but I do. I find that it just gives a more natural effect. And I also like to take a slight amount on my chin, and there we are. And if it gets a little too intense, I got a little sidetracked while explaining the technique. You can take your sponge and go over the edges to calm them down a bit. I almost skipped highlighting. I almost skipped right to blush. Good thing I noticed. I'm going to take my highlighter brush from Moda with the highlight from this palette. And I haven't switched anything up in this department. I just sweep some of the pigment onto my cheekbones and then I do circular motions. The circular motions help to polish those pearls in a sense, and it also helps from creating a straight line across your cheekbones once again. I'm going to take a touch down the nose as well. This one is pretty blinding, so I'm taking such a little amount. It's very creamy though, so it blends right into the base. Okay, now it's blush time, and I'm going to use the blush in the palette. This is a Royal & Langnickel Complexion Balm 38 brush. And this is a smaller one. I wanted to concentrate the color right here in a smaller area. I've been enjoying applying my blush almost over my highlight, well, pretty much on top of my highlight for a lifted appearance. And I'm going to apply a super small amount to my nose. Okay, I'm going to put this palette to the side for right now, and I'm going to add some few spritzes of this mist. This is the Mist Me mist. This mist has a light coconut scent, and it's to hydrate your skin and keep you feeling refreshed during the day as well. And it also has an incredibly fine mist, which is super fun. It's heavenly. Okay, so here's where the base is at. Now I'm going to quickly fill in my brows real quick with the pencil, and then I'll come back to apply this brow gel. While I'm off doing that, I'm going to prime my eyelids as well, so please enjoy the intermission. Okay, I just filled in my brows. Now I'm going to set them with this gel. This is the Hair and Brow Pomade Clear Coat. So you can use this on your flyaways as well, which I hope I remember to do so at the end of the video when I take my headband off. So I'm going to apply some through my brows. This is what the applicator looks like. It's like a silicone toothbrush, and I'm going to brush it through my brows. I like this brush actually because you're able to really comb through your brows and place them. This brow gel isn't like a super spiking gel, it just sets them. This isn't the type of brow gel that's going to give you soap brows or anything like that. It's just going to set them in place. So now let's move on to the eye portion. They came out with this eyeliner. It's called the Zero Effort Liner, and I have been loving this. This is probably one of my favorite products from the Jen Atkin collection because it's so easy to use and very easy to smoke out. Here's a little swatch on the back of my hand. It pretty much blends out like an eyeshadow would. It's super easy to use and it stays put a very long time. And another reason why I love this pencil so much is because it's square. So it doesn't roll around all over your desk when you're using it. When you place it, it stays. And I wish more pencils were square. I feel like it just makes a lot more sense. I'm going to be doing something on the smoky side today. I am going to create a liner, the rough shape of a liner, just like so. And they also came out with this brush. I'm gonna do something extended as well. I'm going to go further than I usually would. I'm also going to take the excess on my lower here. I haven't decided if I want to do a smoky liner, if I want to crisp it up. Maybe something on the diffuse side would be fun. I'm going to take a clean brush just to clean up and sharpen up the tip of the liner. I might have to clean it up further with concealer later on because I think I'm going to add some of the shadows. So now I'm dipping back into this palette. I'm going to take the deepest shade on that same brush, and I'm going to start going over that liner and kind of going back and forth to start smoking out the edges. I'm now going to take another angled brush. This one is also from E.L.F. It's the small angled brush, but it's not so thin, if that makes sense. It has a thicker amount of bristles to it. So now I'm going to dip back and forth into these two browns here. And I'm taking that mixture on the edge of the liner to smoke it. Continuing with that brush, I'm gonna take the medium brown and I'm going to lay it on the lower. And I'm also going to take some of the warmer brown to kind of echo whatever is happening up here, down here as well. And now I'm going to reintroduce some of the black pencil again to get even more richness in this look. I'm going to concentrate it really close to my lashes on a brush, kind of I'm picking some of the pigment off the actual pencil. I'm going to take a classic fluffy brush and I'm going to take a mixture of the bronzer shade and this one right here. And I'm going to introduce that into the crease. Just define it a touch because this part of my eye was looking a little lost. Oh, I really like how that is turning out. I haven't done a smoky wing in a really, really long time. I'm just wondering if I should add an inner corner detail to elongate the inner portion. I just might. I'm going to highlight the inner corner first though with the highlighter from here. Really concentrate that. I'm having a lot of fun with this eye look today. I'm gonna take a small angled brush with some eyeliner on it. And when I do this, I continue this angle of my top and then I continue the angle from my lower lash line out like that. I'm going to try something. I'm taking a clean angled brush and I'm going to continue. Ooh, that actually worked. It just sharpened it up even more. I'm going to add some highlight to the center portion of my eye and I'm going to use this shade to do so. It's a matte color. Just wanted to brighten this up. Wow, I'm really, really happy with how this is turning out. Fun. Okay, I'm going to try my best to replicate it on this eye here and I'll be right back. Okay, I did good. I feel like they look very similar. So now for my mascara, I'm going to be using the E.L.F. Lash It Loud Volumizing Mascara. And I haven't used this before, so here we go. This is what the wand looks like. It's a little intimidating because it is a spiky silicone wand. I'm just going to finish up my lower lashes with my Cosmetics one real quick and I'll be right back. So here are the eyes all finished. Now let's move on to the lips and then we're finished. These are the other products that I love so much from the collection. These are the Extra Lip Duos. So one side is a lip liner and the other is a lipstick. And of course they pair each other perfectly. There are 3 shades here. I'll quickly swatch them on the back of my hand so you can see them. Here they all are swatched. So the lipstick side is swatched on top and the lip liner is on the bottom. So this pink shade right here is Self-Made Pink, E.L.F. E.L.F. is in the title. Their puns are impeccable in this collection, I must say. The middle shade is Red E2Go. And the brownish shade is Bring It On Brown. So I'm going to be using this duo today. I think that will suit this look the most. So I'm going to line my lips with the liner, of course. Which I must say is a very similar color to my natural lip color. And now I'm going to open up the other side. And I think I'm going to pat it on first. The lipstick side is a matte color. I patted it on because I didn't want it to be full opacity. I think it'd be too much for this look, but there's the color on. And the last thing I'm going to add is this lip lacquer. It's the clear lip gloss. I've never tried this gloss before. It's not my favorite. It's a little stringy and not as lacquery as I would like, but it does add a nice like satiny sheen. So here we are. I'm gonna remove my headband so we can fix my flyaways. Okay, I have a few flyaways here. I'm gonna take that gel. I've tried this a few times throughout my hair and it's nice. I had one product like this in the past and it was so embarrassing because once it dried in my hair, it cracked when my hair moved around and it just looked like dandruff. But this one doesn't do that, thank God. That was one of my more embarrassing days. So here is the finished final look. What do you guys think? I, for one, really love how it turned out. I love my eye look so much today. It's extra dramatic. I haven't done something super smoky like this in a while. I think my skin looks overall really nice. The couple things I can go without are the mascara and maybe the lip gloss. I can see when I'm talking and my lips touch together, it does those lines. But overall, I think this was a success. I would love to know what you guys think of today's look. I'm really excited to continue testing these products out over the course of the month, so keep tuned for my roundup video, of course. I'd like to say another huge thank you to E.L.F Cosmetics for sponsoring a portion of today's video. It means the world to me. I'll have links to all of the products I used in today's video in the description down below. But with that being said, that is all from me today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's video and found it helpful. Let me know what you'd like to see next in the comments down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Love you. Bye.